wana vidonda huko kwa kichwa. People we schooled with wanaweza test zilikuwa zinatoka mauzaha na vibe mpaka kale kanini kulala kanet. I know those kanet Kenya watu ulala na kenyewe, so that's what I used to wear at least nisichomeke, but hata kukaa class inanuka hiyo usaha ni mingi sana. So if you see me nikijaribu kuplait my hair, it's because it's been a journey. Even in high school bado zilisha when I started on medication because nijusikuwa na meza madawa, and I got 60 injections huku here huku kwa thighs, si huku kwa thighs, 60 injections. I decides to come to school, akakuja shule. Mzee amekuja anajaribu kunipigia simu, namuona hadi nikiwa hostel, namuona but siwezi, namuona nakasuti kagre huko akipita huko. Wapi? When you are Mount Kenya unaweza ona mtu akipita hivyo administration hivyo when you are in those ladies hostels. So siwezi shika simu. He calls my friend, naambia beshtangu mwambie hujaniona and all that. So we didn't meet, but of course he knew. Akaambia huyu hata hafanyangi mpaka exams, hako class and all that. And then I was extremely depressed. So I stopped school and I stopped even taking drugs. Sikuwa na meza hata dawa almost for a year. Nikamwambia mzae akanibaia machine moja, kwa nikatengenezewa katiball hako ka display, nikaanza, and that's how Paba collection began. Vitu zimeenda, waliba wakabeba laptop, walitoa laptop kwa bag wakaniwekea hapo na maecha charger hapo. Venye tu nitoka class, I had paid the fees, wakatoa hizo receipts wakaniwekea hapo kwa kitanda. Waliba wakaiba mpaka spray. Hi guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. My name is Anjiko Cleopatra. I am a young woman living with HIV and a very passionate advocate with regards to breaking stigma surrounding HIV. So guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, please consider to subscribe. And if you are a returning subscriber, karibu sana sana. And thank you so much for being part of this important conversation. So guys, leo niko peke yangu, of course, and I've seen you saying nashinanga tu nikidisrupt watu, nikiongea mambo yangu, and I've not given you my story. So today I'm alone. I don't have a guest. I'm not being interviewed. I am interviewing myself, and I'm going to tell you about my story. And before I do that, allow me to thank the sponsors of this episode and today's episode, and that is Bama Diaspora. And today I want to introduce you to a project that blends opportunity, beauty, and investment, and that is the Spring Gardens Nanyuki. Guys, this exceptional 50 by 100 plots project is perfectly located just 2.5 miles from Nanyuki Rimuruti Road and only 13 miles from Nanyuki town, making it both accessible and ideal for future development. Look guys, set against the stunning backdrop of Mount Kenya, these plots offer the stunning breathtaking views, unaona, and a very serene environment, perfect for residential homes, holiday retreats when you upenda kusema wanaenda Nanyuki, and of course long-term investment with a special cash offer. Tuko na offer guys. We are always giving beautiful offers for amazing projects of Kenya shilling 350,000 down from 370. This is the perfect time to secure your space in one of the Kenyan's most promising location. Guys, call us on 0725 010 000, or you can visit us. Unaweza amua ukuje ututembelee, tuko hapo Mountain Mall on Thika Road, and get yourself something. Guys, remember that hapa Bama Diaspora ni kwenye tunakuwa na land poa kwa bei poa. So make sure that you talk to us and get yourself. We have so many so many projects that are there. We have Malindi, we have Nanyuki, we have Konza, and get yourself something. And I always say that investment sio lazima ufanye kila ati uamke ukiwa na 100,000, uamke ukiwa na nini. We have and we allow lipa mdogo mdogo. And without further ado, let's begin. And so, sasa juu sina mtu wa kuni interview, I will start by introducing myself, and mnanijua, sitasema jina tena, and I will start about my journey of how I came to know about my status, how it has been, and of course how we are right now. And My story begins from a very small village in Madeira, kule wa Munyoro, in Karatina and in Madeira, and that is where I was born. And I remember growing up was just the normal kawaida thing, but I used to be a very sickly child. Nilikuwa hapa in and out of hospitals and all that. So growing up, I lost my mom at 8 years, that is in 2001. And later I came to know about my status 5 years later. And how I did know this, it's because nilikuwa tu a normal day. Kawaida, nimetoka na shosho yangu, amenipeleka clinic. I used to have some woodwoods here. Nimepelekwa clinic and the nurse is there telling me, hey, Patra, that is the name most people call me from home. Patra, tunataka kukupima. Tuambia, kunipima nini? There's a test that we want to do. I was 13 years, I was in class 8. Kwambia ni sawa, kanambia we want to have a HIV test. Correct, rather, HIV test. I mean, I'm 13 years, I've not even touched a boy. Where is all this coming from? So, I said it's fine. I mean, ni sawa, hakuna kitu yenye inaweza zuia the test. Wacha nifanyiwe. And of course, I knew my mom had lost or rather had succumbed to chest problems. So nilikuwa najua hapa niko sawa. So the test was done and I always say that those 15 minutes, that's the longest time that I've ever waited for. Samata sijangojea kupata mpoa for all that long. So 15 minutes, the test was there and I was told to read and I was told you are HIV positive and nikauliza ni nini ina happen. I was confused. You know, we used to read in school. Hizo tunaletewa, tulikuwa tunaletewa hizo videos shule, mnaletewa watu wamekondeana, watu wamefanya nini. That's when they said you got HIV from your mom. And back then we didn't used to learn all these things that we are learning today. We have social media and all that. And I remember I really cried and I pictured and figured myself dead and my friends and my family there surrounding me, crying over my dead body and all that. And at that moment, I felt very betrayed because with a dead mother, these are new diagnoses. I don't know who to lean on. I don't know who to ask. I don't know. Yani, it was very confusing. But the nurse, that was a nurse. Na sijui alienda, sijui kama hata naweza mkumbuka ama naweza enda atakuulizia. It's been a while. The nurse wakanichukua and my shosho and they took me and I was enrolled to the CCC clinic and that is where my journey began. So kutoka hapo nikaekwa hapo, nikuenda kuangaliwa kilo, kupimwa nini, kutolewa damu and all that, and you're being told umepewa dawa, you're supposed to take these drugs every day without missing. You're told to choose your time. I am that. Yani, that is the most confusing stage or part of my life. So nikaambiwa dawa, nikapewa dawa, uko comfortable kumeza saa ngapi. Of course I was in a primary school yenye ni day school, nikapewa time and we went home. Nishaanzishwa clinic, nishaambiwa dawa nafaa kumeza, hakuna kukosa, nikikosa kumeza nitakufa. So I went home and niko na dawa zangu, niko ka bedroom yako kwa shosho and that's my journey began of treatment. And of course, I did my class 8. I went to high school and huko high school sasa mambo ndio nilikuwa nashindwa. Of course, nitafanya nini? High school nilikuwa nasikia mtu akisema my cousins used to tell us, unaenda vitu zako zinamwagwa zote kwa gate, unaangalia kama umebeba. Nasema sasa dawa zikionekana nitasema nini? Dawa za ukimwi, nimetoa ukimwi wapi? Dawa nimetoa wapi? Oh my God, I was very was it skeptical ama nini kizungu? I was very, I don't know that. Nilikuwa afraid, I was scared. But I remember my dad came through for me and that's why I usually say that that man, that's my G. He came through, akaenda kaambia shule, you know, my daughter is this and this. She has been through this and this and anameza madawa that she should take. So that made my high school life a little bit better. But bringing you back, I remember and we are trying to put efforts on why disclosure is very important. Because when I was tested, ilikuwa tu abruptivo. Hivi umetestiwa, kumeonekana hivi, but I used to be very sickly. And at that point, I remembered that in school, there is a teacher who once told me, go tell your grandma to take you to a certain facility. Ilikuwa hapo Karatina DB. those people from Karatina know that place. So this teacher tells me, go tell your shosho akupeleke kwa hiyo clinic, utasaidika. Niko na vidonda huko kwa kichwa. People we schooled with wanaweza test, zilikuwa zinatoka mauzaha na vibe mpaka kale kakulala kanet. I know those kanet Kenya watu ulala na kenyewe. So that's what I used to wear, at least nisichomeke, but hata kukaa class inanuka hiyo usaha ni mingi sana. So if you see me nikijaribu kuplait my hair, it's because it's been a journey. Even in high school bado zilisha when I started on medication because sikuwa na meza madawa. Even in high school nilinyoa, almost campus nimenyoa pia, because sikuwa ipata hiyo courage that na feel that I can rock such a hairstyle comfortably. So this teacher tells me that mimi sijui, najua huko ni wapi, ilikuwa inaitwa home based, sijui. Then there's some student that chukua tu, kids can be very cruel. Tuna argue, kama mimi huwezi niambia kitu na mama yako alikufa juu ya ukimwi. Like, relax, nyamaza mamangu, no, wewe hapana. Alikuwa na shida ya kufua, hakuwa mgonjwa hiyo ugonjwa unasema ugonjwa mbaya, hakuwa. So such comments, that's when I tried to put, unajua kitu kihappen ndio unakuwa 1 + 1 = 2. Kwa hivyo ndio maana huyu alikuwa ananiambia huyu, ama huyu alikuwa ananifanyia hivi. So that's how I came to know. And after that, when I got to the clinic, and I used to go to the clinic maybe from school, juu nikiwa shule nilikuwa napewa ruhusa, unaandikiwa clinic. When you're newly diagnosed nilikuwa napewa dawa za month moja. At least in school I was not very far from the clinic. I went to Kenny Girls, and the clinic was in Kirinyaga, na clinic nilikuwa naenda Karatina District Hospital. So it was easy for me to come to the hospital. So nilikuwa naweza kucommute kwenda clinic when I'm assigned for refill, maybe for viral load and all that. So hiyo time nikitoka clinic, you can walk, it's a distance from Karatina District Hospital, you can walk to town, uchukue gari ya kurudi shule. Hapo ni penyewe nikapatana hiyo sign ya hiyo home base. And I was very curious. I've always been very curious. Nikasema, si niende nione ni nini na kuanga huku. Nilikuwa nishaiambiwa na ule teacher niende. So I went there and I found it's a clinic for people living with HIV. Back then there were so many, the government was doing too much. Not even the government, NGOs were all over trying to help, kwa sababu the rate of infections was very high, and the mortality rate was equally very high, and people were dying. So walikuwa establish so many organizations to come help, to give drugs, to encourage, to support people living with HIV. So nikajua kumbe she knew. And then kumbe hata yule mwanafunzi pia yeye she knew. So people knew, and people around me knew, but personally mimi sikuwa najua what is happening. Nikasema ni sawa tu. So mimi high school form 1, dawa nakunywa leo, kesho sitakunywa. The stigma, I'm afraid that students wataniona nikimeza dawa. Again, kids are very inquisitive. Mtoto atakuja utameza dawa leo. Not even kids, everyone, human beings. It's the nature of human beings. If we are seated here with someone, I don't know, nimetoa dawa, niko like, you're feeling well, what's up, ni nini, shida ni nini, umeenda hospital and all that. So other than those questions and all that, I used to at times nitameza, saa zingine sitameza. And of course it made me have adherence issues, and in form 2 I got very sick and I got TB. And now this is the gist. I got TB and it was really bad. Like bad. Nasema kama sikukufa hiyo wakati sitawahi uliwa na ukimwi. Not unless nigongo nifanya nini, sitawahi uliwa na ukimwi. So it was really bad. I didn't know it's TB. It never even crossed my mind, because now sijui hata kitu kama TB. Najua TB iko, lakini sijui it's an opportunistic infection for people living with HIV. I didn't know. And I remember maybe the school suspected or something, because the deputy called my father. Akamwambia, kujia msichana hayuko poa. And my dad came, of course, akanikujia. You see, venye kulikuwa shule, hapa ni kakona hivi, unaenda kwa deputy. And I remember my dad saw me mpaka akatoa machozi. He cried. So you can tell how bad was it. I was 35 kgs. You can imagine, na mimi nimeshukua kanaono hivyo, 35 kgs. It was really bad. So he took me, akanipeleka Nyeri PGH. My stepmom used to work there. And of course, kuniona tu walijua tu hiyo ni TB. But of course, I had to go through the screening and nikapewa dawa. So they said just that I was supposed to be admitted. It was that bad. But my stepmom said, no, asiadmitiwe, nitamshughulikia. So mimi nikaenda home and I stayed at home for 2 weeks and they took care. And the good thing about tuberculosis, once you start treatment, you pick up. Okay, start treatment if you not pick up. And I always tell people that tuberculosis is a communicable disease and anyone can get TB. Okay? Everyone can get TB. But people living with HIV are prone to getting tuberculosis. And most people even actually know their status after getting TB because it's an opportunistic infection. Again, and I want to make this clear, please, for the people behind to hear. And everyone who has TB doesn't mean that they have HIV, guys. Let's stop stigmatizing. Tuberculosis is highly stigmatized. Just like we used to stigmatize COVID. You see what happened to COVID. And a lot of people who are suffering from TB even hide mpaka wataweza ku access medication. Unajua the moment amezi dawa pia ana infect watu wengine akikohoa, as long as they can access where there are people, they are prone to infecting other people and sharing because it's a communicable disease. So let's stop the stigma. Not everyone who has tuberculosis has HIV, and not everyone, but everyone who has HIV is prone to getting tuberculosis. Okay, guys, thank you. So nika those 2 weeks at home, I think 2 weeks or a week and a half, I can't remember. Then I went back to school. Bado shule sitameza dawa vizuri, niko up here hapa. So my treatment failed. Yes, my treatment. So that's why I see people wakiniona sasa kwa hii podcast wanasema na you carry yourself so well. It's been a journey, my brother. It has been a very big journey. So the treatment failed. And of course, I had to get the second, stronger treatment. That was the injection. And I got 60 injections. Huku. Here. Huku kwa thighs. Si huku kwa thighs. 60 injections. Every day. Kila siku naamka naenda kwa nurse nadungwa. Kila siku na. It's painful as it gets in and as it gets out. That thick serum. It's that bad. 60 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 60, not 6, 60, 2 months injections every day. Nikiingia ni uchungu, nikitoka kwa hiyo, nikiingia kwa nurse ni uchungu na nikitoka bado ni uchungu. But after that was done and I was okay and sijaipata hiyo shida tena. And what that taught me is that the body, the human body has a way of teaching you that ukikaa kichwa ngumu pia mimi nakukulia kichwa ngumu. Ukikataa kumeza dawa pia mimi nakataa, hazitafanya kazi. So that's what happened. And of course I went to Form 3, Form 4, I did my exams. Of course I passed and it was time to join campus. And now I'm joining campus. Na join campus kwenye sijaiona mtu. Sijaishi peke yangu. Of course high school you are with other students. Sasa uko peke yako, you are dependent on yourself. Ukipewa 5,000 unaambiwa zikae miezi 3 ama mwezi, utafanya nini na uko peke yako? So I joined Mount Kenya University and as I was choosing the course I wanted, I had decided that I want to do human resource kwa sababu nilikuwa nimeona kazini yangu amefanya hiyo course. Nasema unajua yeye alikuwa mbele, si tunasemanga hivyo, huyu hata ni connect job, huyu najua sita struggle sana. But as we were after Form 4, of course kila mtu aenda kwa aunti yake, huyu ameenda kwa aunti yake, mimi and all that nilikuwa nimeenda kwa aunti yangu. And that's when I told I was talking with my uncle, tukipitia tu hiyo nini booklet hivi. Mimi sikuwa nataka, kwanza I didn't want to go to a public hospital, a public university cause venye nilikuwa naona watu wakienda long holiday, nilikuwa nataka mimi nimalize naenda shule nimalize niende job and all that. So my uncle was going through the booklet and tells me, there's a course here, it's a very nice one, community health and HIV management. And he says, why don't you try this? You did well in biology, you can try this. So akaniambia, this course will not just help you as a person, but it will help you so that you can help other people. I don't know, probably he had seen I would be doing this. I don't know, but I foresee that. And that's how I went to Mount Kenya University and I did community health and HIV management. So mambo ilianza kuchemkia hapo. So I joined campus, niko na pesa, umepewa pesa, umeambiwa fanya hivi, umefanya and all that. And of course being in dhika, yani mpaka sasa babangu anasikia niko dhika ako like unafanya nini, because of the things that happened in that small town. So mimi nimeenda huko, nimejua kuna tupombe, nimejua kuna nini, nimejua watu wenda out, I've not seen, I'm trying to fit in. and it was really bad that I ended up consuming my school fees. Nimetumia school fees hapo, nimeenda, and there's nothing. Hata nasemanga hiyo pesa ninunua tu trench coat moja hapo Ngara, I think ya 2000. Kuna kitu kingine nifanyie hiyo pesa, ni kwenda tu out, kwenda nini hivyo and all that, but I was extremely careful. And what I say, it's because I felt at some point, hii masomo hata nasoma ya nini na nitakufa, hii masomo ni ya nini na nitakufa, what is it for, why am I even pushing myself so hard, and eventually nitakufa. So my dad realized, because of course tuna assuming, but when you're a child, sijui wewe tunakuanga extremely stupid, tuna assume hutaijulikana. So sikuwa ipeleka results. Kila time nikiitishwa nasema anga kulienda hata nasomanga didhomaga asiendangi shule. So this day my dad decides to come to school. Akakuja shule. Mzee amekuja, anajaribu kunipigia simu, namuona hadi nikiwa hostel, namuona but siwezi, namuona nakasuti kagre huko akipita huko. Wapi? When you're Mount Kenya unaweza ona mtu akipita hivyo administration hivyo when you are in those ladies hostels. So siwezi shika simu. He calls my friend, naambia bishtangu mwambie hujaniona and all that. So we didn't meet, but of course he knew, akaambia huyu hata hafanyangi mpaka exams, hako class and all that. So he called my aunt and my uncle, akamwambia hey, hapa kuna shida, you need to come and see what is happening. So my auntie and my uncle came and they asked me, actually it was so bad that they thought I've even started doing drugs. Nikalipiwa counseling and they decided watanirudisha tu shule, nikalipiwa and they gave me a second chance. Hey, Wanjiko ni nani? Kaenda counseling. My uncle literally used to call huyo therapist kumuuliza kama nimeenda session. It used to be on a Tuesday. Kama nimeenda session and I told, nikamwambia day mama nikamwambia mimi niko sawa. Nza what is happening? Nikamwambia mimi ni vile tu sasa, hata wewe ukiniambia sijui there is a life, unaniambia nini na najua mimi nitakufa tu. What's the pressure? Don't give me so much pressure that is not necessary. So nikamaliza I don't think even I finished hizo lessons, but ukienda halfway wana assume of course you're getting better. So I went back to school. Nikarudi nikasoma I think 2 semesters. The third semester ndio huyu nikashikwa tena na simu kwa exam room. So this time nitasema nini? Nimerudishwa shule. What will I say? So your time my dad had traveled. He was traveling he had traveled for work in Dubai. So niko huku anauliza unarudi shule, niko like mimi nimesimamishwa shule. Kwa nini? Sikuambia ukweli, nikamwambia tu sitaki kusoma. So by this time they are also getting tired, they are giving up and all that. So that's the point. My brother's dad, the firstborn, called me and then I was extremely depressed. So I stopped school and I stopped even taking drugs. Sikuwa na meza hata dawa almost for a year. So my uncle calls me. Mbionye aliona ni kama mambo imechemka sana huku. Huyu if you are not careful ni kama atapotelea, hatusikizani na mzai, hatusikizani na stepmother, siwezi sikia hata shosho yangu, aunti zangu hataki kunisikia. Because now I've disappointed them. This is the third time wako like, what do you want, young girl? Can you tell us what do you want? So my uncle called me and he told me we are not going for Christmas. That is December 2013. I'll never forget. We're not going for Christmas. Tunataka ukuje wewe ni wewe guest wetu. So niko like, sawa. So I got to a matatu from Thika. Nikakuja Nairobi. Sijui Nairobi hivi. I was told to come to Kahawa West. Nikakam Kahawa West. Nikashuka hapo Kilisho. Nakumbuka nilishuka tu hivi kuona my cousins and my cousins, yes. Nikaanza kulia. I was so emotional. Niko like everyone. Hata kwa matatu nilikuwa tu nalia. Nikikuja Nairobi na feel why are they neglecting me? Mbona hawanielewi? Kwa nini wataki kuelewa what I feel? Why are they not? Yani I had so many mixed emotions and of course ni hizo state of stigma. So all along sikuwa nimejikubali, but I didn't know. Of course bado si ati niko mtu mkubwa sana, ati I am very mature, I wasn't even. So we get home, my uncle says now achana yeye, wacha akule alafu alale. So that's what it was on 24th. Ikahappen hivyo, nikalala, asubuhi we woke up, it's Christmas, tukakula and he said leo nataka umpeleke out. Si anajua tu nimekuwa nikienda out. Nikapelekwa some club ilikuwa hapo West. Tukapewa mpaka dom. We went out, nikarudi, and that's how I started my life in Nairobi. Mzai si ako huko. Mimi si niko huko. My cousins are going to work. My auntie is going to work. My uncle is still there. he's going to work, he's on and off, ushago hivo and all that. So niko. So I said I'm not the person who likes to be idle. Even when I was in school, I used to volunteer at Thika level 5. Nilienda huko because I had to transfer my clinic. Nitoke Karatina nikuje Thika because now I'm in Thika. Nikaenda nikatransfer nikakuja Thika level 5. And that one penye we started these sessions za peer mentoring, za mentoring to your peer mentors and all that. So nikajoin and I used to volunteer there. Nilikuwa naenda na volunteer, nisikae idol. Hata nikifanya hizi vituko bado najituma. So hii story yangu ya community work didn't just come. It's something that has been there. So I said I don't want to be idle. Sasa hiyo nikiwa huko hawajui simezi dawa. Siwaambi, siendangi hata clinic. So one day my aunt is called. Akaambia unajua huyu akujangi hata hospitali sijui nini. So that's when they knew, and I had started even developing. Nimeanza kupata tu vitu tungine, you know, when you're not adhering na the skin, nimepata issues. Nimeanza kupata tu vitu tu white huku kwa uso. And I remember when I got there, I joined the youth. Niendanga hizo Bible study huko ka West St. Joseph Mkasa, niendanga huko nisiboeke. And that's where I met some lady who is called Miriam. Akiwa huko alikuwa ananiuzia ka clutch bag. And nikamwambia hii clutch bag si nini si badala ninunue na siko shule si unifunze how I can make it and all that. So she tells me it's fine, you can come. Kanyosha, she used to stay I think alone. I don't remember with the sisters or the siblings. So I went there, akaanza kunionyesha. So tulikuwa tunashona na mikono hivyo na uzi na sindano kubwa hivyo. So she showed me that. Nikaanza, that's how my journey of paper collection began. And in between that nikijifunza, my high school friend and my village mate no home pia huyo mdema kakam to visit, and when she came I realized akaanza unakonya ndani, nikamwambia sikunya, kanambia right now tunaenda hospitali. We went to the hospital and I was started on treatment. Nikarudiwa, and I could see the disappointment on the clinician because I was one among the first people who studied using OTZ, peer mentoring, and I could see the social worker actually very disappointed. Yani unaona ako disappointed, like the person who was giving hope is here very down. Ni anafaa kupewa hope right now. It was so disappointing. And looking back, I always say that we are young people, we make mistakes. And that's why I don't ever judge someone who has dropped out of medication. Kila mtu ufanya hivyo, and it's life. But what you need to know is that you need to pick yourself, dust yourself, clean up, wash up. Clean up, not just clean up and wash up and show up. Because that is exactly what I did. So I went there. Nikaanzishiwa dawa tana, and I got back on treatment. Dawa zangu zikafail. My first line failed, and I was put on second line because of the many adherence issues from when that year yenye ni disclosure nilikuwa class 8, then through high school, then through campus niko on and off. And I always encourage people, once you get tested, make sure you take your drugs. If you do not take, zitaleta tu adherence issues and the body will resist. Yenyewe dawa zitakukataa peke yake. So zilinikataa hiyo first line. It was not, I couldn't suppress. Dawa na meza poa, nimekuwa consistent, nimekuwa nini, but siwezi suppress. The reason being, isha create resistance kwa mwili. So I was put on second line. And when I was put on second line, that's when I suppressed. Nika pick up health-wise, nikakuwa sawa, and everything else started working out from there. So I came back to Nairobi, nikaendelea tu kujifunza and one day nilikuwa nimeuzia my aunt something hizo mat, nikaanza kujifunza mpaka hizi mats za floor hivyo nimemuuzia. And then she tells me there's a friend of mine Joshona, huyu fanya beadwork, she can train you. Akauliza huyo mama kanambia ni sawa, akakuja akaanza kunifunza hizi beadwork, these ones, kushona mats, table mats, all those vases and all that. So I started paper collection. I started with those beadwork and hizo vitu ndizo nilianza nazo. So that lady teaches me, nikaanza kuuza. I was selling to anyone and everyone. Hata kama una dining table na kwambia unaekelea hiyo sahani yako moja kwa hiyo meza yako. So one day I've always been very, very, very aggressive. So nilikuwa nimeenda, I think hata nilikuwa nimeendea pad, clean shelf in Kahawa West. So I passed there, nikaambia manager, My name is Wanjiko. There's some things that I make and I think you guys can like them. Akaniuliza ni nini hizo, nikamwambia table mat. So I was still very young. I think I was 20, 21. So he asked me, ni nini hizo, enda uniletee. So I rushed home, nikamletea sample. Akaniambia, do you have others? Nikamwambia, no, but I can make you. Kunazo, lakini nilikuwa nimeziweka but hazikuwa zimetosha ati dozen, but I had the beads. Nikaenda nikamletea, akaniambia make them dozen, ulete venye zinaweza uzika. Nikamletea. I think I took a day or two. Nikaleta. And then he tells me when I'm there, akaniambia, unajua sasa juu ni supermarket, sisi tunalipanga mtu akileta the next order. Go like, bro, this is my only thing. Mimi sina kitu ingine. Hizi ndizo vitu zangu zenye nafanya. This is, I told him and he said, it's fine, we'll pay you as petty cash. Nikamwambia, it's fine, thank you. So mimi nikaambiwa basi invoices. Nijue gina invoice. Najua invoice nishaijulia wapi ati nafaa kuinvoice. So I go back to the same supermarket, nikanunua invoice. Akoka invoice book. And I came back. Nikasema, enye this country, nawadai, nyinyi pia the same invoice that I'm supposed to buy from you. Like everyone wants it. The lawyer wants you to commit crime. The doctor wants you sick. The teacher wants you. Everyone. Kila mtu anataka kufanya hivi ili a benefit. But it's life. So I pay. I invoice them. Na wakaniandikia petty cash. Wakaniambia ukujie. Nikalipwa 9,600. My lord. Nilishashika pesa kama hiyo yenye ni yangu. Ati nimefanya kazi. Nilikuwa naona hata mtu akiniongelesha na shindo, unaniambia nini wewe? Unaniambia nini? Unataka kuniibia? Unataka kuchukua pesa yangu? So nilitoka kwa people who know nini West, nilitoka kwa Clean Chef hivi, nikaingia Sunbird. Hizo ndizo zilikuwa, I don't see them anymore. Hizo Sunbird. Hizo mabasi mzee za kawa, za BS. Kuingia, who do I find that lady who taught me about those mats? He? Kumpata hata sitamwambia ni nini, nikampea dhao. I didn't even tell her anything. Kaambia acha nikulipie fare. And that was it. Mimi nikaingia. So when direct nikashuka Kariakoo. Hey, and when you are young, you are stupid. People will take advantage. Oh my God. I am so focused right now. I've seen it's getting me some money. I can get in a chunk. Naweza pata pesa kama hiyo 9,600. Nilienda kwa bead shop. Huyo baba nikamwambia nataka beads. Oh God, that guy sold me. Alinizia beads za 7,000. You can imagine hizo ni beads zinatoshana aje. Zingine they cannot even help me. I ended up throwing them away. I don't think even I made more than even 1,000 or 2,000 from those beads. Juu nilizishona, hakuna mtu ananiuliza, hakuna mtu anazitaka hivi. Sasa ni kwanza nini zero. Nimejianza kushona to clutch bags and all that. And the good moving forward, nikaanza kujifunza manguo kwa West kwa soko. Nimeanza kujifunza kushona, kuoperate machine, of course it's manual. And then this day I tell that guy alikuwa anaitwa Mike, who used to train me, nikamwambia ukisikia stall uniambia kwanza, unataka kuweka shop? Nikamwambia saa hii nishajua mashimo, najua kutengeneza hii, najua huyu na and all that. So he calls me one day. I left hapo kwa shop yake and I went home and he called me, nikamwambia Shiko, kuna stall imepatikana hapo, uko na do? Nikamwambia let me come and see it tomorrow because it's at night, I cannot leave. That night I texted my dad. We had started, no, because I had really picked up to Shanza a good relationship. We are good. He's telling me to push forward. Nikitaka ina mwambia and all that. I tell him, there's a stall that has been found and I need this amount of money. Nafaa kulipa. He says to me, it's fine. You go see it in the morning and then you'll tell me. If that's the line you've chosen, it's fine. Go do it. So mimi nikaenda. Nikapata stall. Tuko hapo kwa hiyo ofisi ya hao wazee wenye husimamia hizo stalls, those ones. And wakaniambia pesa ngapi, uko na pesa ngapi? Nikamwambia naweza pata 240k. I called my dad. Nilikuwa na some 10k, nikamwambia mzee, akaniambia atatuma. Tukiwa tu tumeketi hapo, someone comes. Another lady comes, akasema wao wanataka hiyo stall with the husband. Hiyo stall wanaitaka, ni wanataka kuweka bees. Akaambiwa hii stall ni 80,000. Akasema ni sawa, inalipa wapi? Mimi sasa nikasema ni hivyo. Those guys wakaongeleshana, akasema juu alikuwa ananiona huko kwa soko sana na wanaona nikisumbuka. Right now nobody knows about my status, by the way. Everyone huko, hakuna mtu, I've not gone public, so no one knows. It's not like they were doing me a favor anyway. ati wananifanyia favor because of this and that. So they tell me, I tell them they tell that lady, huyu msichana ashachukua hiyo stall unfortunately, but tukisikia ingine tutamwambia I couldn't believe. I was so excited. Niko like, yani they've forgone that money so that they can save me in this situation, and I saw God, and I knew that God works in very miraculous way zenye hatujui na hatuoni. So maybe that is how I got the stall. Nikamwambia mzae akanibaia machine moja, kwa nikatengenezewa katiball hako ka display, nikaanza, and that's how Paba collection began. So hapo nikaweza naenda Kariako, natengenezewa tu viatu, naenda wapi natengenezewa, nachukua hoods mtush, nakuja na patch nikiweka. That's how we began. And it's a quick reminder that you have to start. And I tell young people, you need to start with what you have, where you are, however you feel, because it will have to work out. If you start, you don't need $1 million to start a business. Start with what you have. Kama unataka kuanza kufanya kazi, kama unataka kuanza biashara, kama ni start na hiyo 1K, 10 kgs za serious, hizo zenye unataka mchele 10 hivyo uza moja zileta ka profit, ununue zingine. That is how you should do. Start with what you have, start where you are, start however you feel. Just start, just don't do anything, just start. Okay, please just start. So that's how I began. And now I started, nikaendelea kushona nguo, and in 2016, yes, that is of course almost 10 years, ndio nimepata shop, nimefanya nini, and that's, yani milango zinakuja tu zinafunguka. I got a call. I used to, hiyo time ndio nilikuwa na volunteer, they call me, that is CHS, and they say that there's a new program inaitwa OTZ, we want you to be part of it. So I went there, and of course nilikuwa having worked kwa hospitali, I know a few things. I used to talk to young people and all that, and they tell me I was chosen to represent Mount Kenya, that is 5 counties. And that is how nikaanza kupata tu job. Natuma Muranga, facilities, you go talk to young people, you talk to them about adherence, you give your story. And my journey began there. I'm not yet public. That time I was equally very young. So tukaendelea, so napata tu pesa hapa. And I told my dad that I want to go back to school. And I told him, I will pay my school fees half. I want you guys to pay half. Kaniambia ni sawa, you go. And I went back to school, and I registered, na nikafanya kila kitu, na nikarudi. So he couldn't believe, he's still not in the country. So he sent my aunt, akamwambia, "Hebu enda huko uangalie kama huyu amerudi shule." Hey, jamani, cha ukweli. So my aunt comes to school. I was in a training at Golden Palm for that organization that I had enrolled, and it was a 1 week. Tulikuwa tumebukiwa huko. So my aunt calls me, "Niaje, uko wapi?" Niko huku shule. Nikamwambia, "Mimi niko training, nilikuja training, kuna nini nimepata." So he goes to the HOD, akapata mpaka nimesema. The HOD calls me, ambaye tuko na aunti yako haamini. Nikamwambia, mwambie hata niko job 2 ina involve. I had already informed the HOD that I will not be there because I'm going for a training, but they had not come to understand junafanya hiyo. So she says it's true, and my dad sends her the balance, na wakanilipia shule. So that's how I got back to school. So I used to commute from Car West to school, so I had to get someone at the shop. Nikatafuta msichana akakaa hapo. So naenda shule, narudi, and I will never forget on my his birthday. Ilikuwa 20 what? I think 20. Second ama 23rd birthday. Nilikuwa kwa kabet sita, nimenunua kakiti kamoja kadri sita hivi. So I say, now because I've gotten some chums, let me get myself a kadri sita, alafu nihamie 1 bedroom ilikuwa juu yangu. Niko na kadri sita ka L ndizo zilikuwa zinakula hiyo wakati. Hey, nimetengenezewa kiti, ni birthday gift. So I come from school, napitia kwa huyo nikienda juu. I used to come to school, napitia hapo kwa stall. Nikamwambia, akaniambia, shiko hata kiti yako iko ready, wewe kujia. Hey, ili sinyeshewe. Nikamwambia ni sawa. So he gets me 2 motorbikes. Sinikael, mmoja amebeba hii. So tell me the girl that I used to work for me, juu niko na ile 3 kuja nikupe uende nayo. So tukaacha shop ni baetu, tuangalie, tukaenda. Mimi nikaenda, my cousin huku kwenye nilikuwa naishi, my cousin alikuwa ametoka Oman. He used to be in those Gulf countries. So he had called me and I was in class. Nikamwambia, wewe nikirudi nikashow mimi niko class. So when nilifika na mcall, hakushika simu. I think he was tired, alikuwa amelala. So mimi nikaenda home. Nikamwambia udem, wewe kujia. So tulienda na yeye akachukua kiti, mimi nikaekewa kiti, nikapanga nyumba. I had a small fridge hapo, nikapanga nyumba and I left. Kurudi ni kazini yangu tuonane. Kumpigia na mimi nililala, nilikuwa nimechoka. So I told him it's fine. Kwa tutaonana siku nyingine. Nikamwambia udemata usirudi, nitafunga shop, tuonane kesho. Hey, let me tell you guys. Wow. Wadau na wadau dates. So I went home. Nimerudi home. Nafungua gate hivi napata mwangaza imejaa kwa ploti. Niko like what the fuck? Kwa nini neighbor yangu hakuwa inaangalia juu mwangaza? Neighbor yangu it was a bed sitter. Unaona nimehamia tu hiyo one bedroom. Hakuna nini, hawakuwa anakuwa. Hakuwa like he didn't used to be always in the house. I'm turning and checking my one bedroom, naona mlango iko wazi, hakuna hadi curtain. I was so shocked. So I called my friend who used to be juu yangu, nampigia Mary, sasa kwani kwa kumeibiwa ukiwa wapi? Na mimi niko kwa nyumba. Mimi niko kwa nyumba na watch movie. Niko like the fuck. Nikamwambia bushuka. So she comes down. Naogopa hadi kupanda stairs. Juu nilikuwa nakaa first floor. Naogopa hadi kupanda nisipate mtu kwa nyumba. So I go. Kuingia jameni. Oh my God. Vitu zimeenda. Waliba wakabeba laptop. Walitoa laptop kwa bag. Wakaniekea hapo. Na mayacha charger hapo. Venye tu nitoka class. I had paid the fees. Wakatoa hizo receipts. Wakaniekea hapo kwa kitanda. Waliba wakaiba mpaka spray. Now that's how I was officially welcomed to Nairobi. Nikasema Jehovah. Yani I've hustled. Nimepata kwa kakiti kilikuwa 26,000. Na imagine 26,000. Hiyo ni pesa mtu student ameweka mpaka aje. That is how I had even recharasione nimenua hadi project ikaendea hapo. Mambo yangu imeanza kuchemka tena. So niko like I don't know. Nikaenda kureport gas nini. Kaniambia cha tunazishaenda hatuwezi trace hata laptop, it's not easy for us to trace. So I left it at that. So that is how I continued. Nikaendelea 2020 came, 2019 the business had peaked. People from Kawe supported me online, nika grow, nikaanza kupata clients and all that. Nikaanza training ya carpets, hizo carpet mesh, and that's where milango zilifunguka for Paba collection, and I decided that I want to get a shop in town because I used to have issues with delivery and all that. So nikaenda town kutafuta stall, nikapata stall place yenye nilikuwa nanunua vitenge huko juu, and I took a shop there, and that is where we are still there at Paba collection. COVID came, I closed that to close your shop ya West, nikaleta huyo msichana alikuwa huko, nikamleta in town, and that has been the journey of Paba collection up to this point. And it's been a story. It's what, and I usually say, if you do not know your purpose in this life, you just need to know if you don't know your destiny, just know your purpose. Your purpose will lead you to your destiny. So that's how my purpose led me to that destiny of Paba collection. And of course, after that, in 2020, that's a year, shop nearly moved to town. I used to have the both shops, then COVID came, nika move. So in 2020, I decided that it used to be spaces, zenye, these HIV spaces, utaenda ni organization, they need accountability, utaenda upigwe picha, ufanye nini, and I was not comfortable with that. So I told them I don't want, mimi sitaki kupigangwa picha. Na kaambia na kama wewe hutaki kupigwa picha utakuja kwa program juu lazima upigwe picha. So I told them no, I'm not comfortable with that. So that's how I stepped aside, and I didn't want anyone to come and disclose about myself. I wanted to do it myself. So in 2020 on November, I started, I always write. I was writing my story. Nikasema I'll go public on 30th November. Kesho ikiwa World AIDS Day. So I tell my dad, oh God. My dad is like, it's fine. If it will help you, it's okay. I tell my uncle. My uncle says, it's fine. If it will help you live more positively, go ahead. I tell my aunt, no. My aunt, the sister to my mom, she was the best friend to my mom. Na nipenda sana. Akaniambia hapana. Mimi nipe wakati niombe. I tell her it's fine. So I tell my clinician, he says it's fine. I tell my psychosocial support and the counselors, they tell me, it's fine, it's okay. But now I want you to tell the people that you've been with. Hatutaki kusikia leo umesema juu status zako alafu kesho tupate kichwa yako sijui iko kwa mto gani. So I tell her that. So I call my exes two of them. I call them, niaje, tunaweza patana, I want us to have this and this talk, there's something I want to share. And I had hyped, nikafungua YouTube channel, nimehype hiyo nini. So he comes, we met. Immediately I texted one, he used to work in town. He came to the shop immediately. Hata sidhani alimaliza more than 30 minutes. Nikamwambia it was not supposed to be that fast. So he tells me it's fine, you'll tell me when you're comfortable. Nikashindwa kumwambia. So this other guy, we planned that he comes to town, and nikapatana na yeye, we went for lunch. Kwani Wanjiku nitaweza kumwambia? Sikumwambia, nilishindwa, nikaogopa, sikumwambia. So I said, because I know I was undetectable, I've been undetectable, I suppressed, kutoka ningie second line nimesuppress, siwezi kuwa infect. Ni sawa. So mimi I go public. That night I sent them my story. Nilikuwa nimeandika, nimewatumia. And the following day I woke up and I posted on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, nikaachilia video. Oh my God, everywhere. I had 783 messages on WhatsApp. Moja hivi, kila mtu. Ni kweli, my high school classmates, kila mtu like, ndio maana ulikuwa like a special diet, venye nilikuwa nakuomba kama ziwa, and all that. Everyone was all over. So this guy calls me. Akaniambia, Pat, ulikuwa unataka kuniua? And he was very shocked. He's crying, and I tell him, Ebu, just go get tested. Go test. If you think you cannot believe me, just go test. So he went testing. Alienda facility hiyo nne. Akaona iko sawa, akanipigia akaniambia mimi nimetest but iko sawa, lakini bado siko comfortable. Nikamwambia ndio test kwingine. He went to almost 6 facilities. The other guy went to more than 10, 11 facilities. Mpaka mmoja kliniki ya beshte yake akamuuliza, kwani ni unatafuta? Akamwambia, imagine, akamwonyesha udem nimekuwa na 4 years na ananionyesha hii kitu saa hii. So that is what happened, and they knew, they confirmed they were safe, and that's how my advocacy journey began. So came 2021, everywhere, niko all over interviews and all that. And my friends decided there's no point that you went public about your status and there's nothing that we are doing about it. So I asked them, what can we do? We came up with an organization that is the Voice of a Black Child. When I was going public, my story was the voice of a black girl. But we put child because we want to be inclusive of both girls and boys. So we started that. And that is how the organization was born. We registered, we started doing community work, we started going to children's home, we started going to prison and doing advocacy and helping and raising awareness and all that. So come 2022, I did tukifanya tu hizo vitu zenye nasemanga 100 challenge, tunanunua t-shirt ziko branded with our logo, tunaenda and you contribute 1,000 bob, 500 for the t-shirt, 250 for lunch, and 250 for the donation that you're supposed to give. So that is what we did, and that is how the organization grew. In 2023 tuka fundraise, 2020 tuka fundraise. Quarter of the year, our budget was 300,000 to kufungua ofisi. We got to 91. I am a very good mobilizer. I will get money from your pocket. Yes, I used to do that. Na push. Tukafungua ofisi. In the same year, I did a proposal to AHF, that is AIDS Healthcare Foundation, and we got awarded a grant for a project yenye imekuwa ikiitwa Inua Dada Ajikimu that focus on adolescents, that address the vulnerability of adolescents and young people between 14 to 24 years. We are inaitwa Inua Dada Ajikimu, and these girls come and we train them on making clothes, tailoring and fashion design free of charge. Actually, our first cohort graduated last year. Trump happened, tukakuwa na issues here and there, but we are resuming this year, and we hope that we'll keep changing other people. So guys, from a story of a girl who was expected to die at 15 years to a woman who is impacting, who is creating awareness, and who is doing amazing things into the community. And this story, and I've given this story because I want you to know that you can be whatever you want to be. Let no one tell you that you cannot. Let no one convince you otherwise. You can be everything that you've ever dreamt of. And to everyone who is HIV positive out there, mtu mwenye hajiamini, mwenye anafeel kama amefika mwisho, please stop that. Wake up, dress up, and show up. Show up not just for you, but for your people. Show up for even your child. Most of them even who have children. Show up for yourself. Show up for yourself because you can. And I believe that no one, hakuna mtu mwenye haizi kuwa chenye anataka kuwa. So that is what has been happening. Of course, Baba is growing. That is my first baby, then the Voice of a Black Child. Then there's this channel that we are doing amazing things. And of course, I've met amazing people who have held my hand, brands that have believed in me. From the first brand that gave me a job, that is Bama Diaspora, the sponsors of this episode. And then there's Fun Place Kenya. Then there was Queen's Restaurant. There's Cakes and Muffin. So many brands that have come just to support me. And they're not doing this because they just want to be seen and through what I'm doing, but they want, because they appreciate this conversation and they want to be part of this conversation. And that tells you that in every space that you are, we are stopping stigma and we are ending stigma and letting people know, even hata wewe, you can, unaweza kuwa upewe kazi kuwa brand ambassador regardless of your status, because your status do not define you. So guys, I want you to picture yourself being what you want to be. Every HIV positive person. If you have a child who is HIV positive, make them. We've been there, we are here. Please tell them, waambie, angalia msichana, angalia huyu. I'm not the only person. Please let them get inspired. Let them know that anything that they want is achievable. And they cannot do that without you. Remember that you can always, if you cannot disclose to them, if you were not given, I was not given the right disclosure, ama sikufuata your process, I don't think I could be who I am today. Because most of the people that we've lost, it's because they accidentally knew their status, walisikia kwa watu huko wamefanya nini and all that. And that is the responsibility of you as a parent. Kama uwezi, ambia clinician akusaidia hapo kwa hospitali. Even for couples, if you cannot disclose, tell the facility to nini, enda hospitali. Waambie wewe umeshinda, umepata mtu na umeshindwa kudisclose. Mwambie umekuja hapa mtest, the results zitokee. Wakukuacha atakuacha. Be ready for rejection. Not everyone will accept you. Si kila mtu atakubali. Hata mimi si kila mtu ananikubali. Na sio lazima ukubalike. The moment you get that rejection is part and parcel, you'll never be disappointed. Sijui unajua juu mtu amekukataa juu ya virusi, sijui umefanya. No, there's someone who will come for you. So guys, I've said too much and I want to end this year. Of course, I know you'll ask questions. You can ask in the comments, and always, this is an open conversation. And of course, we'll keep having these discussions every now and then. But that is my story, and allow me to end it there. Hii conversation narushanga tu vitu hapo tukifanya interviews, and nasikia mpaka kiti imekuwa moto being a host and being a guest at the same time. So thank you so much. And at this point, allow me to thank everyone who has been part of this important conversation. I started this podcast in January, and we've seen tremendous growth in this channel. You've supported, you've given advice, you've corrected me when I'm wrong, and I don't take that for granted. I really appreciate it. And for the sponsors that have been part of my journey, thank you so much. I almost forgot Indomie in Kenya. Thank you so much. Thank you. We could not, and I could not be where I am if it's not for you. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for trusting me. And most importantly, thank you for telling me and showing me that I am more than my status. I do not take it for granted, and I appreciate it. And for you, to our viewers, thank you for making yourself part of this in conversation. Even sitting there, kuchukua simu, watch, bando zako and all that, I do not take it for granted. I really appreciate. And I pray that everyone, if you ever need someone to support you, that people will show up. It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be someone else. But whenever you need help or you need support, people will show up for you. Thank you so much. And of course, to the sponsors of this episode, that is Bama Diaspora, thank you so much. And of course, we've brought you Spring Gardens, and we've said it's in Nanyuki, and it's a 50 by 100 that you get that at 350,000. We've discounted from 370. And until the next episode, thank you so much. If you're watching this without subscribing, please consider to subscribe. Please give me that subscription and be part of this important conversation. Remember, we are doing this because we're creating a community of understanding, a community of support, and of course, a community of empowerment. And this channel is all about breaking stigma surrounding HIV. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next one. Cheers.